We can temper chocolate in 4 ways. The first method we are going to take a look at makes use of a microwave. Place the chocolate inside the plastic container, then into the microwave, with the microwave on high, set to 1 minute. The key is to turn the chocolate every 20 seconds, since microwaves tend to heat in the same points, running the risk of burning the chocolate. We begin to mix the chocolate to even out the temperature of the mass. Like this. Now put it back inside the microwave. Our goal is to melt 2/3 of the total amount of chocolate in the container. The chocolate that remains solid will serve as stabilizing crystals to the rest of the mixture in the plastic container. Begin mixing. I must constantly stir in order to make use of the remaining heat left in the chocolate. It's important to use at least 2 to 2.5 kilograms of chocolate in order to have a good amount of heat inside the container. A low quantity of chocolate cools much quicker and is more difficult to stir. So remember the 3 parameters: time, temperature, and movement. At this point, the chocolate is almost melted. It's starting to look shiny. We now have completed the process of pre-crystallization, a modern term for tempering. When the mass feels elastic, it is approaching the correct pre-crystallization. The chocolate in the container is now completely melted. Now take a paintbrush and dip it into the container at a 45 degrees angle. Spread the chocolate on the borders of the container to check for correct crystallization. How can we do that? Using a refrigerator set at 3 degrees, the time and shine of the result will let us know if the right amount of crystallization has been reached. Remove after 5 minutes and check for correct crystallization. The second method. In the meantime, prepare the scrapers for pre-crystallization by hand. The first, smaller one, is used on the marble to lower the temperature of the chocolate. The larger scraper is used to clean the raschietta and to put the cooled mass inside the container. Now we remove the chocolate, which has reached a temperature of 50 degrees, from the microwave. Mix to create a uniform temperate. Pour 2/3 of the mass on the marble. like this. Now, move the mixture around in order to cool it and allow the proper crystallization to occur. As the crystals are formed, we can feel the change in elasticity of the chocolate mass. Now, collect the mass from the marble like this. The third method involves using a melter. In this case, we are using white chocolate. Set the temperature to 45 degrees for melting and use the same procedure as we did when we melted the chocolate in the microwave. So there should be 2/3 of the chocolate melted and 1/3 still in pieces. Continue with the same procedure of time, temperature and movement until we have formed a pre-crystallized mass. The fourth method is the machine system. It is the most productive for companies that often work with chocolate. Technology comes to the rescue once again. Something normally done by hand is now done by machine. The procedure is as follows. First, adjust the melting temperature. In this case, we are using dark chocolate with a melting point of 50 degrees. Then resistance, heating the tub of the machine. Cloche movement and turning on the fountain. Once the chocolate has reached its melting point, tempering begins. The temperature regulation when tempering dark chocolate is 31 degrees. The last two buttons are for the vibrating table, thus warming the resistance of the grids to drain the chocolate which is being poured into molds, and vibration if we have to move the molds to remove any excess chocolate.